Welcome to LOTC Presents Black Glove Mysteries, where every other Friday we'll take you on a journey through Italian cinema, specifically Giallo, but we reserve the right to take other avenues such as polizieschi, spaghetti westerns, Euro crime films. Either way, you will hear and now see us talk Italian cinema. This is episode 466, double 81. I'm your host, Greg Mortis, along with Ian La Punelli Irza. What's up, Ian?
Hey, these two films were really fun to watch. It was nice to watch a couple Umberto Lenzi films that I hadn't seen to finish off this set, and one of them I enjoyed quite a bit, a little bit more than the other, and it might be my favorite film in the set so far. So it actually made me think of, man, it's refreshing every once in a while when you get one of those Italian films that you like just as much as some of the others, and you're like, oh, it's like finding another treasure at the bottom of a treasure chest.
Yeah, especially when you're getting into these made for TV and those type sets. And, you put your money out for these sets to buy. I mean, I think the set you bought was a full set, which was probably around 99 or whatever it was.
Might have been, yeah.
Yeah, and I ended up buying them individually, but still, I mean, it's hard-earned money that you're spending, and then sometimes the sets are duds. And the Fulcis were not as good as I thought they'd be, but they were decent. But tonight, we are looking at the Umberto Lenzi. These are the House of Doom box set. We're finishing up with the House of Lost Souls as well as the House of Witchcraft. So that is the two Lenzi films we're looking at that are made for TV Italian cinema. So as Ian mentioned, one he liked more than the other for sure, and I'll let you know on my end as well. And we're going to get right into it. So it's super exciting. Like I said, when you buy these box sets, they look amazing. They look fun, Ian. They look great on a shelf and everything. But, is the content worth it, right? Is it worth, oh my God, all the money and the time, hours spent watching all these? Sometimes you think, God, dude, I've wasted my money on that one.
I would say this was. I mean,
Right.
I really felt like it was. I mean, there's some decent special features, and I want to watch more of the features. I've really just gotten the commentaries so far.
Mm.
But I did enjoy the commentaries for each one. I like that they got some different people for certain ones, and I haven't even watched. I didn't watch the Sam Deegan one for House of Lost Souls, so that might be something I do in the future. I watched the Rod Barnett, Adrian Smith one for that movie. But yeah, these have been worth it because the movies themselves have been good enough. I mean, Sweet House of Horrors is probably the weakest one out of the four, if I had to say, truth be told. But even that one was in conjunction with House of Clocks was worth it just for those two Fulci films.
Oh,
So
100%. Yeah,
yeah.
I totally agree with you. Have you seen either one of the Lost House of Lost Souls or the House of Witchcraft
I had not
before
seen
tonight?
either one of them. No, I had seen the Fulci films prior, but not these ones.
Okay,
So
perfect. Yeah,
I
these
wasn't, yeah, I went in pretty blind on both of these. I think
are.
both of them are, slightly different. They both have insanely good locations. Like
Yeah,
I was really, I really loved locations for both of these. I thought that they were great.
agree.
And Lenzi, kind of like Fulci, it didn't seem like the whole idea of making it for television really hampered them in any way.
Mm. No, I totally agree with you on that. And that was something that I actually, because you got the same filmmakers, same cinematographers, and things like this going on. So you got the same vibe going. I felt the vibe on these. Like I really liked the look, and I was thinking like if I was in 1989 in Italy and I was going to watch these, which unfortunately they didn't release, but it would have been cool to sit at home and watch this. I mean, a little bit of nudity in it again too. So I guess in Italy you can get away with a little bit more than what you can in the United States. But
Well, yeah, well, obviously, like the United States is like crazy with that kind of stuff.
yeah,
They would prefer someone getting their head sawed off than like in like the bloodiest way possible than showing like one boob and on
right.
television. It's
How dare you
ridiculous.
show a boob? You're so wrong for that. But these were definitely interesting watches. We'll break these down one by one to let you know exactly where we fall in line with the films, and we decided what our next episode is going to be. So I can't wait for that to be revealed too. That's going to be super exciting as well. little spoiler might be another box set we're going to get into because Ian, you and I both have some box sets that we got to
Hmm.
we got to
Yeah.
really get into, man. It's like I know Pearl's looking at me sometimes, all the movies I buy, and she's like, "Are you ever going to watch some of these
Gives
episodes
us
like
the
this?" Like,
excuse to actually watch them.
yeah,
So, and the features, so yeah.
she's like, "Way to go, Greg!" You know, being part of Vinegar Syndrome, the yearly thing, and I still have not watched any of the January's releases. Or actually, did I watch January? I don't even think I've watched one movie out of the January release so far, and
Yeah,
I'm
I'm looking
loving
forward to
it.
what they do this year, just because they've said there's going to be a lot of Italian stuff coming this year. So looking
Fingers
forward to that.
crossed.
Yeah.
Fingers crossed. We've had some Shaw brothers, so we'll see what happens from there. But with that said, I think we're just going to get right into these, and I think we'll start by we'll do this by alphabetical, right? I'm gonna do this as the House of Lost Souls first.
Okay, we're gonna do that one.
Yeah, sure.
Yep.
And
So yep.
right here's the cover once again. Love the art. I'm gonna give Cauldron an A+ on the artwork.
They
And
always do a good job with that.
right,
Yeah.
who did? Do you know who did the art? I should know that.
I
Oh wait, here we go. It
wonder.
is Matthew Therian. So Matthew Therian did the artwork and for both these, and the logo by Eric Lee. So I got to give him major props, man. I
Oh
love the
yeah, I
art.
was wondering where it said it. Okay, it
Yeah,
says right there.
great
I was
art.
wondering if it was like Tony Stella or something, because he's a well-known artist with that kind of stuff. But
Yeah,
yeah, good
but
job
great
by
stuff, man.
Matthew Therian.
A+. Does the box look cool as well? Like it's a full hard case box. Yeah. See, look at that. That's insane.
Yep, kind of like
I hope
that.
they release just that box one day so I can get the box to put the movies in.
Yeah.
But regardless, I've got the movies, so that's all that matters. But anyway, but go ahead, Ian, take it away, man, for the House of Lost Souls.
All right, so this is just from the back of the Blu-ray. Let's see here. A group of young geologists get stranded in a dilapidated old hotel when their path home is washed out by the rain. This proves to be a wrong turn as the hotel comes alive with vengeful spirits of the dead, hell-bent on taking their head-chopping revenge upon the living. No one is safe in the houses of lost souls. Directed by Umberto Lenzi, this bloody haunted house of horrors is full of atmosphere, skeletons, tarantulas, fire, slashers, killer washing machines, demonic forces, decapitations, and more. Stars Joseph Allen Johnson from Iced, as well as Slumber Party Massacre, Stefania Orsola Garello from King Arthur, Matteo Gazzolo from Body Puzzle, Laurentina Giadotti from Spectres, Hallie Amanucci from Off Balance, and Charles Borromel from Absurd, with soundtrack by Claudio Simonetti.
Boom. There you go. And immediately recognized Joseph from Iced. I'm
Well,
a
I
big fan
recognize
of
him more
Iced.
from Slumber Party Massacre,
Yeah.
but yeah,
Yeah, I'm just a big fan of Iced, man. It's
Ice is
such a
good.
shitty movie. It's a shitty movie, but god damned if I don't love that damn movie. It's kind of like the movie Blades and what's another one I'm thinking about? Shredder. Some of those movies
Shredder
are
is
just
Shredder. You might hear me talking about that on a different episode of Land of the Creeps coming up soon. Might be pretty
yeah.
high on my 2001 list. I
I
really enjoyed that movie.
just watched that the other night because I've got the Blu-ray and I'm like, dude, I gotta watch
I
this.
still have the old MGM DVD actually.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think I have. No, yeah, I've got.
Yeah, it was like, who put that out? Was it Scorpion or someone
Yeah,
like
this is
that?
the Scorpion release,
Yeah.
and it looks great, man. It really looks good. And there's some really fun kills in this thing,
Yeah.
and the snow atmosphere is awesome. But yeah, so I'll put that over there. That's super exciting, man. I can't wait to hear it. If it makes somebody's list for 2001, may have to stay tuned for that. And but back to House of Lost Souls, this thing has like everything thrown at you at one time. Like, dude, there is so much going on in this movie. Um, some of the effects are pretty wonky, but overall, I had a lot of fun with this movie. I'm gonna be honest. A little frustrating in some moments. You're sitting here, kind of scratching your head at it. But I thought the cinematographer once again is Giancarlo Ferrando, and I actually enjoyed some of the severs and the different things that's going on with the uh, makeup effects and stuff. But the cinematography was actually really good on this as well.
Yeah.
So got to give it to Giuseppe Ferrante, man. Good job on the special makeup effects, man. Great stuff. Because there are some really good kills in this movie, man, that were, to me, were done, handled well. The whole washing machine and all these different things is going on in. I'm like, what is? It was like each time they're going with a nut, and I'm like, holy crap, dude!
I
What?
like Ruggiero Diodato's movie, The Washing Machine, but I kind of
Oh
wish
yeah,
it was more like this.
yeah. But see,
It's
I'm
just
almost a
scenes of
10.
just people getting killed by washing machine.
But I'm a 10, almost a 10 on Diodato's washing machine. I
Yeah, I
absolutely
do like
love
that
it.
movie a lot.
But
But
I know what you're saying. I know exactly what you're saying. There is a decapitation scene in here, and I'm not going to say where it's at, Ian, but somebody that it comes out of nowhere. Like the scene is set up, and you think, okay, this dude's going to be okay, and all of a sudden, snap! You're like, whoa, where'd that come from? Yeah. So there's a lot of stuff, man. A lot of good stuff in this one, buddy. But what did you think overall when you first watched this, and what was your vibe on it?
I like the sort of setup to it because it really did remind me kind of a slasher movie. It's
Mhm.
just interesting how it's executed. Like these are the most like chaste teenage young adult people ever. Like there's nothing
Yep.
about them having sex or getting together at all. And it's like, and then like for the slasher aspect, there's not like there like a few characters just drive off at one point. Like I
Mhm.
kind of wish they would have just fully leaned into a slasher formula. And again, it's Italian, so maybe they weren't thinking that way. But
Mhm.
it's like that's what I kind of wish they would have done with it, where they didn't really do that. It's more of just a ghostly supernatural haunted house film, and that's
Yeah.
fine. I just it and
Yeah.
it has a decent atmosphere. The location is good. The exterior sets are awesome. um Rod Barnett and Adrian Smith had talked about this building where it's shot
Mhm.
near the area of Borgo Pace. Basically, they would make these camps for kids in these small cities, and they were basically these fascist buildings to like teach kids about that kind of stuff. I don't know if they were like military camps or whatever, but something like that. And that's what these buildings were. Most of those like some of those buildings are still up today, and they've been turned into other stuff. But it was kind of interesting to hear them talk about that. And they said that there's probably more than one building in that area. It's just that was the one that they filmed. So I found that kind of interesting, and it makes for a really good location and kind of just a it kind of has this weird feeling of almost being stuck in a nightmare at certain points. I would say.
Yeah.
So that was interesting. Like I did think the atmosphere was good. I think it looked good. I just wish it would have leaned more into that sort of slasher aspect, and I kind of wish it would have been more violent. Lenzi's It's weird that Lenzi, I mean, yes, his cannibal films are violent, but like his other horror films and his giallo films usually don't lean into that as much.
Sure.
um and I wish he would have done that here more. Like I wish he would have had more Fulci style violence like we saw in those films as well, especially House of Clocks, because there's not really a whole lot here or even in the other one. It's violent enough, but it's not
Yeah.
really there as much as I would like it to be.
No, I agree with you there. Another thing that threw me off, though, in this one, I'll be honest, is the dubbing. The dubbing. There's even a mention. One of the characters is supposed to be Irish. It's like Ireland or something. And this thing, I'm like, bro, if you're supposed to be coming off as Irish, you're not pulling this off at all. But regardless, I mean, the dubbing was pretty bad. I'll be honest. And here it is. You got a boy character in here that sounds like a young man instead of a boy. And this is not only, once again, not the Bobby level, but it's pretty bad. It's pretty bad. I'll be honest.
Yeah, the kid was not,
Yeah.
even as a character, he was kind of annoying. Like, there's that
Yeah.
part when he gets in the ar to leave with them, and all of a sudden he's like, "Oh, wait, I wanted to listen to a soccer game on the radio or whatever. I want to go back." I'm like, what the hell?
But I'm with you 100% on the set. I thought the set pieces was great. I liked seeing the countryside in the moments they drive up and they got that one rock slide or whatever's going on, and then they turn around and go stay at the building you're talking about. The building was awesome. I loved the decrepancy of it and the way it looked inside. I thought they handled that well. A lot of that interior shots were done really well. You got to see multiple rooms, hidden rooms, and basements, and just all kinds of little places that I felt like they really you were able to explore a lot through that building. It looked a lot bigger than it did outside. There were those moments that I liked the effects of, like the chandelier light bleeding and doing things
Yeah.
like that. I thought was really fun, a little cool little aspect of it. But Pearl was frustrated with this one because of some of the sequences that was taking place. She was like, "Oh my God, will you hurry up or will you do this?" Like she was getting really frustrated with some of the scenes and the acting wise of it, but and some of the stupidity of what some of these characters are doing. But I did like the meat locker room or whatever. There's a scene where somebody gets locked into
Yeah.
the
Well, that
murder.
that I actually found kind of freaky, to be honest. Like
Yeah.
I actually like that would not be fun, you
No,
know.
hell no. And you're like literally this individual's locked in this frozen room with what we
Right,
seem to
like you
know is
have a
two
matter
bodies.
of basically minutes or you're
Yes.
going to die. Like it's,
Yeah. And it's like a sealed room, so this individual screaming and nobody can hear him. I mean, that's terrifying, dude. And then we got potentially two bodies hanging right beside you that is not cool. So there's those moments that I thought was really unnerving and really handled well. I liked Umberto's touch on that, and the musical score too. We got to talk about the score in this one as well. Was I really enjoyed the music, which it had that common theme
yes,
kind of
this is
through.
also the one where he reuses music from Demons as well.
100%, and you can
Yep.
tell that. And I'll talk. Um, I could probably mention it right now. Would probably be a good spot for it on this one. But one of the interviews they had, or one of the bonus features on this set, was House of the House of Rock interview with composer Claudio Simonetti, 14 minutes and 21 seconds, and it was just he was like basically at a show somewhere. They're interviewing. It looked like he had his drum set up, and they were getting ready to play or something. You know, he's in a t-shirt, and it looks like sound check or something. But anyways, they're interviewing him, and for 14 minutes, he goes in talking about how that basically Dario Argento kind of brought them along. Like they weren't even cinephiles. They didn't like necessarily have movie knowledge or anything. It was basically, do this and back then, music was handled a little different than the way they handled music in movies now, or composers. And they asked him if he felt like there was ever competition between what he's doing and others, and he said no. He said maybe with composers, but what I do or what we did, no. And he talked a little bit about Goblin, and then when they split up and how they tried to get back together and different things. So it was actually
They
really interesting.
they did not get along
No.
somewhat notoriously. I mean, Dario Argento would bring them back together for a movie and then they'd
Yeah.
break up like immediately
Yeah,
after.
because he said it
They
never
just had
did
a
go well.
hard time
Yeah.
working together for some reason.
A hundred
I mean,
percent.
it is rare that bands or groups stay together forever. I mean, look at the Beatles. They were together for what, 9 years and then
Yeah.
they broke up. It's just it happens.
Yeah, it does. But he did talk, extensively in 14 minutes time. He did mention how, the atmosphere, like Dario brought him on with Phenomena and Tenebrae and different movies like that. And, their style, they were just doing rock music. That's why, he said, I just figured, we had a job. If anyone wanted rock, we basically were there. So, and that's what they kind of did. So this movie right here really had some really cool moments, a lot of synth music, which you're going to get with Claudio Simonetti and stuff. So I thought it worked well, dude, with this movie, really well. But no, it's a cool little interview. Like I said, 14 minutes long, super quick. I wish it would be dubbed, though. I wish they'd dubbed the interviews as well, but whatever. But yeah, good stuff, man. And all these were handled by, uh, good Lord. Um, name them. God dang it. You know who I'm talking about. Our boy, Eugene,
Genio or
thank
Kalani,
you.
yeah.
Good Lord. God, sorry. I could not get his name out. But he did a really good job with handling the questions and everything. And Claudio definitely rolled with it. But back to the movie again. The movie itself, man, I just really had a lot of fun watching this one. And I do know where you think kind of that slasher, I would have kind of liked to have kept that same vibe. But where it ended up made sense, in my
Yeah.
opinion. They kind of explain it all out at the end of the movie well. So I thought they
They're
did.
definitely borrowing stuff from The Shining as well.
Oh,
Like the whole
Yeah,
psychic thing, and even just like the like the flashback of whoever it was, the
yeah,
father and the kid, he's using an axe, and there's definitely similarities there.
100%.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't think it was bad. If you're going to copy something, go ahead
Yeah,
from
I
that.
mean,
It's, take inspiration from something. That's not a bad thing to do it from.
that's right.
But yeah.
That's right. The bleeding shower was a little quick moment that was really fun.
Well, yeah, and even the old, like even the like the old woman in the shower or whatever, that
Yeah,
the maybe not the old woman, but the woman who's like looks messed up. That's also kind of like a Shining reference as well.
absolutely. Yeah, 100%. But cool moments. I thought when they're doing that reveal at the end, and I don't want to give too much away, but there's some individuals that are possibly dead. There's a cool moment where they're all coming and they all look different. They're all different age groups and different nationalities, different things going on. When they're coming at him, I'm like, holy crap, dude, this is like really, really cool, man. I like this. Like, it's how are you going to survive? What's fixing to happen here? I mean, you got all these different people coming, whether one with a blade, one with an axe, and these different things. I thought they handled that one well too. But overall, man, to me, this is a fun watch. I can
Yeah.
sit back and definitely rewatch this one again.
Oh yeah, I
Cinematography,
definitely
great.
could. Yeah.
Yeah, cinematography, everything was great on this one. Any negatives? I think Pearl was right with what she's saying in the points that some of the moments you're just like, will you? It's those moments, and that's a lot of our '80s slasher films too. It's like
Well,
you're
there's
just,
so many moments where, and it doesn't feel quite like it does in a slasher film,
mm,
where like people will split up, go off and do something else. Like no one seems to stay together. And
yeah,
it's like, okay, clearly there's indications here of this place being haunted. Just
mm.
get out of here. Why are you staying here?
Right.
Like when two people go off in the car, and well, the kid tries to go with them, then just doesn't want to go. It's
Mm.
like, why don't you all just go? Like it
Yeah,
doesn't make a
yeah,
whole lot of sense to me that anyone wants to stay here, especially because don't they not have power? Don't they not have heat or something like that? Isn't that part of the
yeah. The
what's
power
going
does
on?
go off at one time,
Yeah.
yes. But now there
That's why
is.
what's his name, Guido, was doing something with the wood to try to
He
get
was
yeah.
get the heat going there, and you got to remember too. Now there is that moment where they reveal they can't leave the everything
Right.
walled
Yeah.
in with concrete, and that was one of those just goofy moments too, because the one character turns around and says, "Oh, I think it's some millimeter thick." And I'm like, "What?" Like he names off like it's random, like this is
Well, and
like a
even at
30.
the even the whole thing at the end, like Kevin knows where this pan like exactly where to look for the
Yeah,
what he needs to find. Like I'm like, what?
how?
Okay,
Yeah,
like yeah, exactly. It doesn't. It's like only one character is supposedly psychic here, not
right.
everybody.
Yeah, a little wonky there. But overall, uh, I, I, I gotta say, man, this is my favorite out of all four movies. In my opinion, is my favorite. But do you have anything on dubbing on this one or anything like that?
Yeah, I do. Hold on a
Yeah.
second. Let me go to the doc here.
And what do you think? I got to tell you this thing. What do you think of the guy with the bald head guy with the robe looking thing on? That character.
Well, that was Hal Yamanuchi, who's
Yeah.
been in a ton of these films. He went on to play a Marvel villain. Actually, he played the Silver Samurai in the Wolverine. He's
I
still acting today.
His character was fun
Yeah,
in this movie.
yeah.
There's this moment where like all these people, you got one with a butcher knife and one with an axe and everything. All he's got's the Frankenstein monster hands.
Yeah.
I'm gonna get you. I'm like, yeah, I'm not too scared of you. I might be afraid of the guy with the axe, but you're okay. But go ahead and dub it if you got it.
Yeah, Matteo Gazzolo is dubbed by Matteo Gazzolo, who's playing. Let me see here. Oh, wrong movie. Massimo is dubbed by Ted Rusoff.
Okay.
See here, was there another one? Oh yeah, Robert Spafford. There's a part of the kind of like the very beginning where they go to a gas station.
Mhm.
Robert Spafford's dubbing the gas attendant.
Yeah, that was a goofy moment too. Like every slasher movie starts with, like, here we go. We got the gas station sequence. They were going to go on it. You don't want to go up there, kids. What else you got on this one though? Music score was really strong in
Yeah,
here.
I liked it. I mean, I liked it in both movies. You get the droning synthesizer music that Simonetti does a lot. There was I recognized the music, and it took me a second to be like, oh, that's from Demons. So he reused some of the music from Demons. I don't know if he reuses anything in the other movie. He might, but
Uh, yeah, I'm not sure if he did or not, honestly, on that.
Charles Borromel, who played the sort of the proprietor of the motel, who we see kind of at the beginning, then at the end.
Hmm.
He was actually a huge voice dubber in these films. We've probably heard his voice plenty of times, and we've seen him in some of these films as well. I think Absurd is one of them, but I think there's probably even more than just that. Like I know his name's been out there for some of these films. So
Hmm. That's cool. Well, how did the commentary roll on this? Was it a good commentary?
yeah, I thought Rod Barnett and Adrian Smith did a great job. They actually have a podcast together called the Wild Wild Podcast, where they've covered several different Italian cinema genres and movies. It's a pretty good show.
Okay. I'm writing that down so I can check them out. Wild Wild Podcast.
Yeah, wild, comma wild.
Okay. Wild Wild. All right, cool. And I got that wrote down, so I'll check them out on Spotify. Let's see. Do you have anything on the Hall of Famers or anything like that?
Well, Charles Borromel would be an all-star because he was also an Absurd. As far as I know, that's the only other film I've seen him in. Probably more than that with the dubbing as well, but I can't name anything off the top of my head that I know he dubbed, unfortunately, at the moment. Hal Yamanuchi, we saw him, and let's see, I gotta do some looking around here.
Hmm.
2019, after the fall of New York, Endgame, Phantom of Death. So, and this. So that would make him a Hall of Famer.
Nice.
And I'd say deserving because he's like the token Asian actor that you would get in all these films. Oh, and he was in The Last Hunter. He has a very, very small part in The Last Hunter. So,
Yeah,
yeah.
clearly, because I definitely didn't recognize him from that. So,
Yeah, I'm trying to
uh,
see here if any of these other actors are people that I've seen in anything else. Not that I'm seeing. Yeah, no one else as far as I can tell.
okay, fair enough. Do you have anything on thinking Massimo Cercelli, correct?
Massimo
We did.
Cicchelli.
I'm
Oh, the
trying to.
caretaker. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Um, Sleepless. He played Leone in Sleepless. He was like the guy who looked after the author's house. He was like the caretaker there. I remember him in that. Yeah, so that
Okay.
would make him an all-star. He's in some other Argento films as well, so we'll see him again. Actually,
House of Clock.
well, he was in House of Clocks and Banditos, so there you go.
Yeah. And have we?
Definitely a background all-star.
I need to look at that. We haven't done Phantom of the Opera, have we? Argento.
No,
I
I don't
didn't think
even.
so.
I'll probably get that Vinegar Syndrome Blu-ray eventually because I do want to. I haven't actually even seen that film, so
Oh, really? So,
no.
oh wow. Okay. Yeah, I got it. Boogie, kabam! It looks nice, dude. That looks freaking. Look at this artwork on that thing from Vinegar. That thing looks sick, bro.
From what I've always heard, it's not a particularly good movie,
It's
but
not really, but it's got Julian Sands and
yeah.
Asia Argento. So there you go. So special features on this episode here, the House of Lost Souls. We had the working with Umberto. It's called the House of Lost Souls. Working with Umberto interview with FX artist Elio Terribili. That was 18 minutes and 37 seconds, and he goes into his moments with Fulci and with Umberto Lenzi. He prefers working with Fulci, or he preferred working with Fulci over Lenzi. He thought there was a moment where him and Lenzi kind of got in an argument because there was a scene that didn't go quite right, and Lenzi kind of got upset and blah blah, and it pissed Terabelli off. Man, it really pissed him off to the point that one of the guys came up and tried to calm him down. Hey, won't you take a walk or whatever? So sometime the next day, I guess somebody had talked to Umberto Lenzi, and he basically Umberto yells at him in his gruff voice and told him to come over. You know, asked him. He said, "Are you still mad at me? Or are you mad at me?" He said, "I don't want you mad at me, man." But he said he never had any other moments with Lenzi. You know, he kind of liked working with him or whatever. But he said he really preferred working with Fulci. And he mentioned at the beginning of this interview, which was really good, Ian, was the difference between filming then than what it's filming now with digital. He said it was so much different. Now you can take 100 takes. Back then, one or two takes, you were done because film was so expensive. You just couldn't do a lot of those takes. So back then, everything was really, he said, everybody moved around. You weren't just standing around. If you were standing around, you were probably going to get fired. So he said, even if you weren't busy, you acted busy. And then he said there was these moments too where, like you didn't directly talk with the director. You had avenues to go to. You didn't just walk up to Umberto Lenzi or Lucio Fulci and be, "Hey, how you doing, bud?" You had to go through an AD or you had to go through all these different people. So he talked about that aspect of filmmaking too. But he was just talking about how that like a script writer knew exactly how long it took to film a certain scene, right? So if you come up to film a scene and it took whatever minutes it took, if it was taking any longer, you would run out of film. Well, guess what? You run out of film, script writer is immediately fired. Boom, you're gone. Bring in another one. So he said it was always those aspects, filmmakers, it was a lot different. So I thought that was really interesting. So like I said, that was 18 minutes, 37 seconds. The House of Rock with the interview of Simonetti, as I mentioned, was 14:21. The real highlight of this one was 52 minutes and 31-second interview. And this was the criminal cinema of Umberto Lenzi, the career spanning interview, which was really fun. Lots of stuff. It wasn't just talking, House of Clocks House of Lost Souls. That was not even mentioned. It was like the whole career span through whether it's spaghetti western, whatever. It was all these different avenues that was taken. So it's really fun. Definitely recommend checking that out. So the interviews in this one, top notch, man. Good stuff. So you got anything else on House of Lost Souls before we get to our rating?
Not that I can think of. No.
All right. Well, let's see here. What do you got, Ian, for the House of Lost Souls?
I'm gonna give it like a 6.5.
Okay, 6.5. And I am going to give it a 7. So I'm
Nice.
7 on that one. And so without further ado, let's go ahead and get into our next one we're going to be looking at, which is the House of Witchcraft. And look at that art, man. Although I got to say something, Ian, and you're going to agree with me. This character right here, that makeup effect looks so much better on VHS, I'm sure, than what it looks like on Blu-ray. It's really,
Yeah. I
it
could see
really.
that.
I think filmmaking now, when it gets crisper and you get 4Ks and Blu-rays, you can really see things that maybe you couldn't see on a VHS or whatever. You can really see some faults in them now. But anyways, it's the House of Witchcraft. What you got for the plot?
An overworked journalist recovering from a breakdown has been suffering from nightmares. To help ease his struggles, his wife takes him to an idyllic country home for the weekend. Nightmares soon turn to reality as the dark truth about the house threatens to undo all who dare stay the night. Featuring haunting imagery, ghosts, twisted mysteries, and a knife wielding witch, The House of Witchcraft is directed by Umberto Lenzi and stars Andy J. Forrest, Sonia Petrovna,
Mm.
Marina Cavalli, Maria Musi, Maria Kazamoto, and with a soundtrack by Claudio Simonetti.
Boom, bam. Immediately, good soundtrack once again, of course. A lot of synth in this one as well. This movie's goofy. We see that first opening scene where the guy basically ends up in front of this witch in front of a cauldron, and his severed head, and thrown into a pot, and then he wakes up from a wild dream, and he's like, "Holy crap!" We find out he's, I guess, having this reoccurring dream. And dude, when it goes into the aspect of him going on this vacation trip or whatever with his wife, who they don't get along at all, and they pull up to this house, which is the house that he's been having this whole nightmares about. I was like, dude, this is on. This is on, bro. Like, bro, something's going to happen. And this is a goofy movie. It's definitely witchy, and some aspects work, some don't. But what do you think of this one watching it?
Well, right away, I like that because the whole location. Apparently, this was Daria Nicolodi's uncle's villa or something like that. I think, from what they had said on the commentary, and right away the whole thing just reminded of being in like a Resident Evil game. You got this big like estate looking area with
Yeah.
the bushes and the dogs coming after him. Like it just reminded me of a Resident Evil video game right away. So that's why I liked it so much. And just like I was invested in this movie basically all the way through because I was just curious what was going to happen. Like this is not a giallo, but there is a whodunit aspect to it in terms of what's going on.
Mhm.
When people start disappearing and people start dying, and it's like, what is really going on? What is this guy seeing? What is he not seeing? Like,
Yeah.
is this witch real, or is there something else going on, something a little bit more supernatural or whatever?
Mhm.
And I really like the characters. Like, I like the sort of conflict between him and his wife and his sister-in-law. I like when he calls her, he's like, you got to come here because I'm having some issues and I need to figure out what's going on. Like, she's sort of like, she sort of helps, like she's sort of like a psychologist for him, I
Yeah.
guess, someone he consults. And he's like, hey, you need to come here because I'm having trouble with what's going on. And then you got the what's the like the groundskeeper or whatever,
Mhm.
Andrew, I think was his
Yeah.
name.
Paul Muller.
And then you had his daughter Sharon come in. It seems like the main character and Sharon end up, they seem to progressively have more of a relationship throughout the film. So it's kind of interesting in certain aspects. Then you got Deborah, the sort of, I don't know if she's the daughter of Elsa or if she's just a friend. I don't know.
Right.
If so, she's a really young friend. So then you had her boyfriend showing up at one point. At least this movie, people were interested in getting together. I will say that much compared to the
True.
other movie.
True.
So that was a fun aspect, but there's just a lot of to me, I just like the atmosphere in this one more. Like, I think the interiors in the other one may have been better in terms of like making you think you're in a giant house, but this one I don't know. I was invested in pretty much every aspect of it, whether it was the characters, the story, and the mystery of it. I just think I liked it because of all of that.
Yeah, it was really strong for that. And the character of Andrew, the older gentleman who was blind in this one, which took me a minute to find out he was blind, and but then to see where he kind of did the whole garden and had the flower plants or whatever, and he even talks about how the plants, are kind of living organism or organism, and if they feel fear, they fear. If they die, death in the air, they can die. Which I knew was going to play out in this 100% after he mentioned that early in the movie. But no, I did like the characters in this. I thought the Luke Palmer character, Andy Forrest, I thought was a really strong character. I really enjoyed his acting in this one, and I thought the use of different characters coming in, with the Sharon character showing up, and then the boyfriend, even though he might only be there for a few minutes, but bringing in these other characters added some moments to it that was needed with this quote unquote witch aspect of things going on. I was intrigued through it. I do agree with you on the giallo aspect of it, even though we don't have a black glove killer and it really isn't that type film, but you still did have that mystery of what's fully going on. And I think they handled that well at the end. I think we definitely got our moment of what really happened. Musical score was great, cinematography great. I mean, it's the same people, so of course it's going to look the same. I did like the set. I really enjoyed that. I thought there was a weird sequence, Ian. I don't know. There's a scene where Luke is driving around with Deborah, and he says, "Stop here," and he goes into a church. This is after some priest or reverend had been, he thinks, maybe murdered, right? And he just walks into this church and just goes back into this room where they're doing some kind of viewing or whatever, and he just helps himself right in there looking around. I thought that's a little odd, like, a little disrespectful, bro. Just walk into somebody's, and then he starts asking questions like, "Is that so or so?" I just thought that
Yeah,
was
yeah.
odd. I mean, would you have done that? Would you have? I mean, it's a room where they're mourning somebody, and you just walk right in and
Well,
looking
the
around.
one that I found weird early on was when Martha's the wife's name, right? Is it
Yes.
Yeah. So they're driving, right, and an accident happens. And she doesn't turn around. He keeps asking her to turn around, and she's like, "Oh, they're dead." And it's like, how do you know this?
Right.
And this doesn't really end up playing a part in anything later on,
Right.
like the fact that she knew this, and it's just kind of a weird scene to put in there.
Yeah,
But
I agree with you on
it's a
that.
nice car stunt, I'll give it that. But
It was a cool car stunt, and I'm sitting here in my mind thinking, how would that have killed him? But maybe a broken necks clearly is what happened to
well,
him.
that's part okay. Yes, now you say that.
Yeah.
There's nothing. They don't look beaten up or anything.
No.
It's like there's
I
nothing
think one had
there.
a
Like
bloody
I'm like,
nose.
what the heck? Like if someone dies in a car accident,
Right.
they're not gonna look pristine.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
like I'm sure that is not how Paul Walker looked after
No.
he got into an accident.
No.
Like what the heck? Like I just that
It
was
just seemed odd to me in the fact that, like I said, it had to be broken necks. But if you look at the crash, it's really not that horrific of a crash. It's not like they
no.
rolled 20
If you're
times.
wearing a seatbelt, you should be
You
fine.
would be fine. You would have lived. But yeah, that was a little odd. But I did that moment where she turned around. There's no need to go back. They're dead. And he's like, "What are you talking about? Like, like are you crazy?" But that took me a little off right there for a second. I'm like, okay, what are we doing here? I like the witch. I like the old lady. She's your typical, rotted tooth
Well, yeah, I
and
mean that whole opening is like okay, she's got like gray hair, messed up teeth. And there's like apples on the table, and it's like this is the most stereotypical witch you
yes,
could ever see.
yes, it's straight from Snow White, dude. 100%. Like, bro, they stole this witch, but it worked. Like, I was totally cool with it. When she's on screen, I was like, cool. I like it. There was one little scare jump scene with her in it that was pretty fun that I thought was great. There's these moments where Martha like goes into these trances and she's walking around in a white dress, like her cream colored robe dress or whatever, and she's like completely out of it. I like those moments. There's one where she's walking down the trail of the, I don't know, it's not a garden, but whatever it is. I thought that was really creepy, man. I like the moments there, and then she disappears into a bush. So they handle some of that stuff really good, man. Really good.
There's some kills with hedge trimmers too, which reminded me of like the burning.
Yep,
Yeah.
100%. I see that.
Um, there's a cool scene in the basement where it all of a sudden starts snowing. I thought that was kind of cool.
Yeah, that was a good artsy moment.
Yeah.
Looking for an individual, and then like you said, and then the musical tone that's happening right at that moment worked as well. And then we get the reveal of that face. It's kind of like I said, it would have looked a lot better in VHS than it does in Blu-ray. But not knocking it, it is what it is. Uh, could have been a lot better, but at the same time, it worked for what it is. Yeah. How was the commentary on this one?
Ercolani and Troy Howarth and Nathaniel Thompson are always entertaining. They
Yeah.
didn't give me too much trivia on the film, honestly, but they had some fun things to say about the dynamic between Fulci and Lenzi in general. They talked about like Nightmare Beach. They did kind of confirm that Lenzi directed it, even though he's always tried to say he didn't actually directed that. And they both talked so they talked about how Fulci liked westerns, Lenzi did not. Like there were just different genres that they both found themselves going into because they were just trying to work really. And Fulci became more known as a horror filmmaker because that just became his niche eventually. Fulci was much more interested in comedy sort of at the beginning of his career. um Basically, what else was there? Oh, so yeah, so Lenzi actually did not like Dario Argento that much. Apparently,
All right.
he did not like the how he was always compared to him for Giallo movies because Lenzi was making them first. They said that Lenzi and others kind of resented Dario Argento for only really working in one genre where other directors would work in more.
Yeah.
Um, Lenzi was probably one of the bigger cinephiles out of all of these directors. At least that's what Ercolani has said. He had more of an appreciation for Hollywood than he did for Italian auteur directors, interestingly enough. Like, he liked some of Fellini's early films, but then by the time he got to 8.5, he just didn't really like him anymore. So there was that. Lenzi had always spoken well of Fulci, and he was one of few directors to actually show up at his funeral, apparently.
Nice.
So
Yeah, respect,
um,
man.
this whole series was originally designed to be 6 films. Maybe we had talked about that at one point. And Lamberto Bava originally was supposed to direct 2 of them. Then it became Marcello Avallone was supposed to direct some, and it just never happened. They ended up cutting the budget and just going with these 4.
Yeah, which
Um,
I'm
Tom
cool with.
Tom Foleggi, who does appear in this, was in 17 Umberto Lenzi films.
Wow, wow. And what did he play in here? I'm trying to.
He's the cop that shows up at the end.
Oh, I got you. Yeah, uncredited. I got you, Inspector. Okay, that's a lot of movies, man. One
Oh,
director,
he's been
man.
in a ton of movies. I mean, him and Fulvio Mengozi are 2 guys who just show up in a ton of these films, just in really small parts. Usually, most of the time, they're never playing because they're never playing big parts. I mean, I assume they
Yeah.
get all their work done in a day or two.
Right, right.
Probably
Show
not
up
that
like 20
difficult.
minutes, get a
Yeah.
Twinkie and go home. Appreciate your work. Here's your Twinkie and ho ho, man. All right, have a good day. uh, no, Pearl, you're not getting a Twinkie or a ho ho over there. Sorry. I shouldn't have mentioned sweets around her. Now she's going to be whining. But no, I like this movie a lot, dude. I really enjoyed this one as well. I thought, and it's weird because I'm much more of I would say a Fulci fan, but I much prefer these two over the Fulci two,
Well,
100%.
and I think Lenzi was, more invested and more dialed in at this point than Fulci
Sure,
was, honestly.
sure.
So it
Well, I
might
mean,
make
and
sense
this
for him
was
to do that.
getting, I mean, Fulci, was he, I can't remember if we talked about this last episode, how he was feeling during
I
this
think he might
period.
have been feeling better during these 2, but in general during that period, I mean, you're talking about diabetes,
Yeah.
hepatitis, just all of that stuff. I mean, he was not doing particularly well at this point in his life because of all of that.
Yeah, you definitely got a lot on you. Let's see what else we got on here. Once again, the cinematographer or the composer once again was Claudio Simonetti as Claude King. Uh,
I just found it funny that he was the only one who like anglicized his name in these credits. Like
right.
normally it's a lot of people and he's the only
Yeah.
one who did it. I don't
Yeah.
know if it was a thing, it could have been a thing where he was working on so much other stuff that maybe he needed to do it for some reason. I don't know. But
Giancarlo Ferrando once again did the cinematography, and it does look the same, and it's great. And of course, Giuseppe Ferrianti with the makeup effects. This one only had 2 features on it. You had Artesian of Mayhem interview with Elio Terabili, once again, 19 minutes and 26 seconds. And I'll be honest, good interview. It's 19 minutes of him talking, but it's kind of, I'm not going to say it's like a rehashing of what we saw in the House of Lost Souls interview, but much the same. It really didn't very much. So if you saw one of them, you pretty much saw the second one. 18 minutes and 36 seconds, the House of Professionals interview with cinematographer Nino Colesti was good as well. So talking some of the cinematography stuff. But overall, man, it's, lacking on the bonus features on this one. But I think overall, with all 4 of these as a set, if you pile it all together, I think they had a lot of good stuff to give us, which I appreciate. Eugenio, or I call Arcanaut. Good Lord. Ercanelli. I'm sorry, man. I cannot get your name.
Kalani, yeah.
Thank you. Good Lord.
Yeah,
Why can I not
he's
talk tonight?
he interviews people all the time. Like I'm
Right.
friends with him on Facebook, and he's doing like interviews almost like every day. It
Right.
seems like
And I
guy
love this.
is
I
on a
love this guy, man. He is so approachable. It seems like on media as far as
oh
his
yeah. If you
interviews and
tag him
stuff.
in something, he'll like it. I mean, I've
Yeah,
sent him messages before and told him, hey, we're watching this commentary. I think it was for The Last Hunter.
mhm.
I said we were watching his commentary for it, and he's like, hey, whenever the podcast is out, send it to me. So then I was like,
Yeah,
okay. So
that's cool.
yeah, he seems nice and usually takes time to interact with others. But yeah, he's seems like he's on a treadmill as far as how much work he does with all
Wow.
these interviews. I mean, it's like it seems like I said, almost every day I see him
Yeah.
post something. I'm interviewing this person. So
And they got him, Ercolani and Troy especially are constantly having all these box sets or these movies coming out with features, man. I don't see how these guys sleep sometimes. Like it
well,
seems like
Troy,
they're,
I mean, think about how many books he's written. I mean, how
oh yeah,
much time that must have
right.
taken. That's a heck of an investment.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah, good stuff, man. But I really, really, I get super excited. I've said this a million times, but when I see Ercolani or Nathaniel Thompson or Troy Howarth on a set, man, I get super excited, man, because I know it's been handled with care. I know they've gone and done what they can to give us what we want. So, good job, guys. If you're watching this, man, bang up job, and maybe we'll talk one day in the future. We'll see. But good stuff here, man. So what else you got on the dubbing? The dubbing on this one not as bad as the dubbing on House of Lost Souls. This one was manageable a little more than the other one, in my opinion. You feel that way? Or?
Yes, yeah, I would say so. Andy Forrest, who played Luke, is dubbed by Ted Rusoff, who, by the way, has a voice in all four of these films. Um, let's see here. Martha, Sonia Petrovna as Martha is dubbed by Susan Spafford. Susanna Martinkova as Elsa is dubbed by Pat Stark. Marina Julia Cavalli as Sharon is dubbed by Carolyn DeFonseca.
Okay.
One thing too, did Andy J. Forrest at all remind you of Eli Roth with the way he
He does
looked?
now.
Like to me, especially in close-ups, he kind of reminded me of Eli
He
Roth.
does. Yeah. Yeah, 100% now that you said it.
Yeah.
There's two characters. Oh, I got to mention this too. I'm glad you said that. Thank you for doing that because there was two people reminding me of somebody. Oh, what was his name again? Andrew Paul Moeller. I swear I thought Mr. Drummond from Different Strokes. As soon as I saw him, I thought, man, it's Mr. Drummond. And then I like, oh wait, no, it's not. And then the other and the other one was Sharon, who I thought looked so much the young girl, right? I thought she looked so much like the girl from Poltergeist, the daughter in Poltergeist.
Oh
Didn't
yeah.
really pay close attention to that, so I thought that was too. So thank you for bringing up Eli. I totally see Eli now. You're saying it with Andy Forrest. All he needs is a mustache. Good stuff. Let's see.
I
What do
did
you? Go ahead.
I was just gonna say too, Maria Stella Musi, who plays Deborah.
Mm-hmm.
I had to do some research because I was like, it's funny. I'm 29 years old now, right? And it's
Right.
like sometimes people who are like 18 or 19 years old look really young to me now.
Yeah.
And it's like one of those things where I'm always curious. And yeah, sure enough, she was either 18 or 19 when this was filmed. But it's like one of those things where I had a moment too. I watched the Hitcher, the original one,
Oh
with
yeah.
my sister a couple months ago, and when I saw C. Thomas Howland, I was like, man, does that guy look young? And I looked it up, and sure enough, he was 19. I'm like, it's like now that I'm getting older, it's like people who are 18 or 19 look really young to me.
I love it, buddy. Yeah, wait till you get my age, and everybody
Yeah,
really looks
exactly.
younger. What do you got on? Let's see. I guess on Hall of Fame, do we have anybody?
I was gonna look at that right now. So, House of Witchcraft.
Because I'm looking, I don't recognize anybody. Maybe Paul Muller.
I think, yeah, I'm trying to see if there's anybody at all. Well, Tom Feleggi would be the big one.
Hmm.
That guy's obviously a Hall of Famer without even
Looking it up.
me yeah even having to do that. I'm just wondering how many damn films I'm gonna have to name. um yeah, I'm looking here. No. Andy J. Forrest, no.
Yeah, I don't think
uh
we have anybody.
well, we might end up covering one more with Marina Julia Cavalli at
Okay,
some point. I will say that much.
sweet.
Maria Kamani Quasimodo actually would be an all-star because she was in All the Colors of the Dark. So
Oh,
the
nice.
woman who played the witch. So
Love that movie.
um I'm gonna check a couple more here. Okay, nope. So Tom Feleggi, let's just name all the films that we have covered. All the Colors of the Dark, Four Flies on Gray Velvet, Cat o' Nine Tails, Case of the Scorpion's Tail, Eyeball, Spasmo, Seven Bloodstained Orchids, Escape from the Bronx, Rome Armed with the Teeth, aka The Tough Ones, Oasis of Fear, Puzzle, Il Tram, The Tram, the Dario Argento film. That might be it along with this, but that's an obvious Hall of Famer. And it's like, we're not even done. Like, this guy's going to be in more films. So he's
Right.
just a character actor who gets around.
There you go. I love it. So anything else on this one before we pass our ratings around?
No, not that I can think of. Just like I said, I mean, I like the atmosphere of the other film too, and
Mm,
I'm kind of looking forward to watching both of them again. Truth be told, like
same.
this one is at some point, especially because, like I said, I was just really invested in this one. Like as I was watching it, like I knew all the characters' names, and I was just more invested in the mystery. I thought the kills, even though there are brutal kills in both, I thought
Mhm.
I think I felt them a little bit more in this one for some reason. It's just I just really enjoyed this one, like in terms of just some of these films we covered in these sets from these late 80s films. I've enjoyed this one more than most. This is definitely my favorite film of the set. So
Nice. Well, where do you come in on a rating on this one?
8.
All right, cool. I'm actually a 7 as well on this one. Like I said, I did like House of Lost Souls. I think because of the slasher aspect of that, I think the slasher in me just really gravitated toward that one. But I do like this one a lot as well. So I really look forward to watching these with the commentaries. I didn't get a chance to watch them with the commentaries, so I will check those out. So I look forward to that, and I just want to rewatch them again to see what else I pick up on a second viewing. But that is that, Ian. So we got a couple calls here from somebody you recognize, my friend. And let's go ahead and go to these calls, and then we'll come back and wrap this up. Let me see. It's been a minute since I've done this again. It's weird how sometimes I'm just like, okay, what do I do next? Let's go to this call and see what we got.
Hey guys, Luke Irza calling with some thoughts on House of Witchcraft. Well, first off, I like the main character's name, Luke. Couldn't have picked a better one. But past that. So the car crash at the beginning, I didn't really understand that, other than maybe Luke's wife, Marta, she knew that the people in the car were dead, so maybe she was able to kind of feel that or predict that or something, but I didn't really get the whole car crash part. And then I also didn't get the priest dying or getting beaten and dying. I guess, people have to die in a movie like this, but I didn't really get the significance of that. So there is that. The whole time they were really setting up the wife, you know what I mean, to be the witch, like the whole cat thing and her sleepwalking and having some kind of amulet that was a little bizarre. So I kind of felt like they were telegraphing that, and it most likely wasn't her or going to be her. The girl Sharon, who ends up being the witch, she's almost like one of those Scooby-Doo characters. Like they're always kind of on the periphery, they're kind of lingering, but they're more significant in the movie than, the director or the writers kind of like want to make them out to be until the end when they are significant. So I thought that was well done. Just kind of get woven into a bunch of scenes. Also, though, when Luke goes to the country villa and walks in for the first time, I really enjoyed that one of the first things in the scene was a grandfather clock, which kind of took me back to, House of Clocks, which I thought was a really good movie. I thought the scenery, in the movie was nice. So overall, it was entertaining. Thank you for the recommendation. I'll be calling back about House of Souls.
Nice. I bet you did like that name, Luke. I agree with you. That was a great name to have as a character, right? Ian?
Yeah.
Good call, buddy. Appreciate you calling in. Let's go to his next one here.
Luke Irza, Black Glove Mysteries. Hey, I'm calling with some thoughts on House of Souls. I'm not really sure where to go with this one. It seems like, there's a bunch of kids, geologists or whatever, but, like they're all snooping around where they're not supposed to. I mean, if they had just stayed the night and maybe stayed in their rooms, I'm not sure some things would have happened, but it would have made, for a pretty boring horror movie. The hallucinations, one of the things I thought was funny, I guess, one of the lines in the movie, one of the, characters or whatever, said something like, normal kids can have hallucinations.
Right.
Well, I guess that's true. It's hard to argue that they can't, but I also don't think it can be marginalized like, normal kids have hallucinations all the time. It's like, well, I don't really believe that's true. Maybe we should be taking some of these hallucinations, more seriously in the context of this movie. Now, the little kid gets killed or decapitated by a rogue washing machine. I understand the movie, and I didn't mind the gore part. I thought it was kind of neat, but that's a stretch. Let's just go with that. Hatchets. I noticed hatchets are a big deal in this movie. Like, people are getting chased and swung at and beheaded and killed with hatchets or an axe or hatchets. But either way, apparently in this particular movie, the director or whatever, enjoyed that weapon of destruction and death. And then I wasn't sure what to make of this other than, the little kid, the one that continues to disappear, and the one with the red hat. He appears at the end, which makes you believe that not everything is wrapped up, so to speak.
Right.
Although, when they burn the decapitated heads at the end, all the other bad people or whatever murderers, disappear. So maybe he wasn't decapitated, therefore, he's still somehow.
Oh, and he got cut off, and that was his last call, so I don't know what his. Oh, Luke, I don't know what your final comment was there, buddy. Oh, shoot. But either way, great call. And I totally agree with you. That washing machine scene is insane, dude. It's just out of nowhere. It's like, what is really fully going on right here? But you know what? It gave us a gore moment. It gave us a moment where we could just sit back and say, all right, cool job. Good job, Umberto. So overall, man, great call, Luke. As always, appreciate you calling in, and I love hearing from him every episode, Ian. It's fun hearing from your father calling in and giving us his take. So with that said, that is the episode tonight. If you head over to Letterboxd, if you're on Letterboxd, go to my Letterboxd, Greg Amortis, and you can check out. I have updated it as I do every episode now, so you'll know exactly what movies we have officially reviewed over here on Black Glove Mysteries, and make it a whole big old list over there. So however many movies it is now, I should have looked at that, and I could have gave you how many we've reviewed now, but it's been a bunch, Ian, a bunch. Let me see if I can find that too. But Ian, on the next episode, let's go ahead and let the listeners know what we're going to be reviewing, my friend.
So we're starting our coverage of the Forgotten Gialli set from Vinegar Syndrome Volume 5 in this case. So there you go.
Yep. Bam, look at that. How beautiful this set looks. Oh my God. Look at the spider web. I had this leaning toward Pearl's over on the sofa, and I had it leaning, and she kept telling me this thing staring at her. So I turned it. Good stuff, man. Good stuff. 146 films, by the way. We have reviewed 146 films today. But we are going to be looking at the White Dress for Morale and Tropic of Cancer. So I've not seen either one of those. So super excited. Look at that. Yes. I feel like the Tropic of Cancer. I don't know. You've seen that one.
Yeah, it's been a while though.
Okay.
I barely remember a damn thing about it at this point.
The White Dress, I'm liking the eyeball, maybe a spider web. I don't know, man. I'm getting a vibe off of it. I think I'm going to end up liking it. We'll see. But those are via Vinegar Syndrome, and you can pick up these box sets. They're still available out there sometimes. Maybe, I don't know how, you was able to get the box set pretty readily.
I was able to get the box set for 5 and 6, not 7. 7 was the individual
7.
Yep.
1 and 7 I do not have. I could not get 1 or 7. They're already gone. You can get the individual, like 3 in 1 disc type deal.
Right. 8 you can't get at all.
Oh, okay, my bad. So 7, this is what I have for 7. Unfortunately, I don't have the box for that, but I got the box for 2 through 8. So anyway, so that's what we're going to be reviewing next. So go ahead and get your research in. Once again, The White Dress from Mariella and Tropic of Cancer are the 2 films. So we can go ahead and get those out there and you can watch them and you'll be able to follow along with us. So with that, Ian, what you got in closing, my friend? What kind of plugs and all that good stuff?
So I will have something in terms of a show coming up soon. So stay tuned. There will probably be an announcement on one of the upcoming episodes. For now, you can just you can find me on Facebook and Letterboxd. If you just type in my name, you can find me on X, formerly known as Twitter, Instagram, and Blue Sky at Ursanomics.
Nice. Definitely check that out. And if you go to landofthecreeps.blogspot.com, which is where we post these episodes at, you can go over and click on the individual episode, and you can get all the show notes, and Ian's information is over there. And look forward to hearing what you're going to be on next, Ian, as well. For myself, Facebook, Instagram, X, all them spots as well. You can follow us. You can follow us over at Jay of the Dead's new horror movie podcast, where myself and 7 other hosts are together, or 9, 8, 9, however many there is, doing new movies and different things. So Jay of the Dead over there handling that, and I'm proud to be over with Dr. Shock and so many of the other guys, and just such a fun show. So head over to Jay of the Dead's new horror movies, and you can check those episodes out, as well as I do have a guest spot coming up on a show we're going to be recording, looks like in a couple weeks. So once that's available, I'll let you know on that and where it's at. So super cool. I don't even know if I will tell you the movie or movies that will be reviewed is from one of my all-time favorite directors, and no, it's not Argento, and it's not Carpenter. So that's a spoiler. If you know me, you know, but if not, you'll know soon. I will let you know on that when that happens. And then I'm also going to be on a upcoming episode. I will go ahead and announce that because that is going to happen 100%. I don't know what episode it is yet, but I will be over on the 22 Shots of Moods, the Vincennes podcast, where they're doing the Vinegar Syndrome episodes, and I will be on whatever season. I think it's season 3, and I'm not sure exactly what episode, but we're going to be looking at the January releases of Vinegar Syndrome. So that'll be coming out really soon. I can't wait to record that with Moods and JP, and I think Tyler and maybe Tony. I don't know who I was going to be all over there, man, but I look forward to that as well. So appreciate those guys inviting me over. So with that, I'll post that when it's available as well. So we're going to get off here. Love you guys and gals. Stay tuned for the regular LOTC episode as well. We'll be doing our top 5 horror movies from the year 2001. If you're watching, or if you're listening to this on podcast, if you're watching this on video, the next one you'll see from me will be a Vinegar Syndrome opening, and then you'll probably just see our next Black Glove Mystery. So I'm out of here. I'm tired. I got to record with Jay of the Dead in about 30 minutes. We love you guys. We're going to see you on the flip side. Help keep horror alive. We do that one movie at a time, one review at a time. And Ian, what do we like to say?
Get your jolly on.
That's right. We'll see you on the flip side. Peace.